Her heart pounded against her ribs as Lily lay sprawled on the cold hallway floor, her wheelchair toppled beside her, the cruel laughter of her tormentors still ringing in her ears. Tears threatened to spill, but she refused to give them the satisfaction, even as the contents of her backpack scattered across the polished linoleum like broken dreams. Emma witnessed it all from the other end of the hallway. A new transfer student who knew exactly what it meant to be an outsider. Without hesitation, she marched toward the scene, her dark eyes flashing with a determination born from her own painful past. What happened in the next 30 minutes would change both girls' lives forever, forging an unexpected bond that would shake their school to its very core. What secret was Emma hiding that made the bullies never dare touch Lily again? If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Soul-Stirring Stories for more tales that inspire and uplift. The hallway fell silent as Emma strode toward the scene, her footsteps echoing against the lockers. Madison, the ringleader with perfect blonde hair and designer clothes, snickered behind her hand. Her two followers, Zoe and Heather, shifted uncomfortably but maintained their positions, flanking their queen bee. "Oh, look," Madison drawled. "It's the new girl. Come to join the fun?" Emma ignored her, kneeling beside Lily instead. The girl's face was flushed with humiliation, a strand of auburn hair stuck to her damp cheek. Emma had seen that look before, the desperate attempt to hold on to dignity when everything else had been stripped away. "Are you okay?" Emma asked. Softly, Lily nodded stiffly, eyes fixed on the floor. "I'm fine. Just leave me alone." "You heard her," Madison said, stepping forward. "She wants to be left alone." Emma rose slowly, turning to face Madison with a calm that belied the storm brewing inside her. Just 3 weeks ago, she'd been the new student at Westridge Academy, trying to keep her head down, trying to forget the reason she'd transferred mid-semester. "You know what I think?" Emma said, her voice carrying down the hallway where students had stopped to watch. "I think you should help pick up her things." Madison's perfectly glossed lips parted in surprise. "Excuse me, you heard me." Emma's voice remained steady. "You knocked her over. The least you can do is help clean up the mess you made." The confrontation tugged at Emma's memory. Another hallway, another school, another bully. She'd promised her parents. No more fighting, no more trouble. But watching Lily struggling to reach for a textbook just beyond her grasp, Emma knew some promises were meant to be broken. Madison stepped closer, using her height advantage to look down at Emma. "You must be confused about how things work here. So, let me explain. I don't take orders from anyone, especially not from charity cases like you two." Emma didn't flinch. "And I don't take intimidation from cowards who need a pack to feel strong." A collective gasp rippled through the growing audience. No one spoke to Madison Kent that way, not if they wanted to survive socially at Riverdale High. "You have no idea who you're messing with," Madison hissed. "Neither do you," Emma replied, the edge in her voice sharp enough to make Madison take a small step back. Something in Emma's eyes, a certainty, a dangerous knowledge, made Madison hesitate. For a moment, doubt flickered across her perfect features. "Whatever," Madison finally said with a forced laugh. "Let's go. This is boring." She turned on her heel, Zoe and Heather falling in step behind her. As they walked away, Emma knelt again, gathering scattered notebooks and pencils. She righted the wheelchair with a practiced ease that surprised Lily. "You didn't have to do that," Lily said, her voice barely above a whisper. "I know." Emma handed her a physics textbook. "But I wanted to." Lily studied Emma's face, searching for the mockery or pity she'd grown accustomed to seeing. Instead, she found something unexpected. Understanding. "You're the new transfer student, right?" Lily asked as Emma helped her back into her wheelchair. "Emma Jones, just moved here from Chicago." The partial truth came easily, practiced over weeks of introductions. "Lily Chen." She hesitated, then added, "Thanks for the help, but you should know that getting involved with me is social suicide here." Emma smiled, a genuine expression that transformed her serious face. Good thing I'm not here to win any popularity contests. As the warning bell rang, students dispersed to their classrooms, the excitement of the confrontation fading into whispers and sidelong glances. "What class do you have now?" Emma asked, handing Lily her backpack. "AP Chemistry, room 213. I'm heading to English in 209. Mind if I walk with you?" Lily's hesitation was brief, but noticeable. "It's your funeral," she said with a hint of dark humor. As they moved down the hallway together, neither girl noticed Madison watching from around the corner, her eyes narrowed in calculation. The new girl had made a critical error in her social strategy, and Madison Kent wasn't known for her forgiveness. But Emma Jones wasn't known at Riverdale High at all. Not yet. And that was precisely how she'd planned to keep it. The cafeteria buzzed with the usual lunchtime chaos, a social minefield where table assignments were as rigid as class schedules. Lily normally claimed a small corner table near the exit, a strategic position that allowed for a quick escape, if necessary. Today she hesitated at the entrance. Trey balanced carefully on her lap as she scanned the room. Madison and her court held court at the center table, their laughter carrying across the room. They hadn't forgotten the morning's confrontation. The daggers shooting from Madison's eyes made that abundantly clear. "Is this seat taken?" Lily startled, nearly upending her carton of milk. Emma stood beside her, cafeteria tray in hand, seemingly oblivious to the stares their interaction was attracting. "You really don't want to sit with me," Lily warned. "There's still time to save yourself." Emma shrugged. "I'm already a social pariah for being new. Might as well commit fully." Despite herself, Lily smiled. "Your funeral," she said for the second time that day, but with less resistance. They settled at Lily's usual table, Emma sitting across from her with casual ease. For a few minutes they ate in companionable silence, each stealing glances at the other. "So," Emma finally said, poking at what the cafeteria claimed was lasagna, "how long have you been at Riverdale?" "My whole life," Lily replied. "Born and raised in this town. Used to be a little different, though." Her eyes flickered momentarily to her wheelchair. Emma waited, not pushing. She'd learned that silence often revealed more than questions. Lily sighed. "Car accident 2 years ago. Spinal cord injury. T10 complete. If you're curious about the medical details." She spoke with practiced detachment, as if reciting a script she'd performed too many times. "That's rough," Emma said simply, "but it doesn't define who you are." Lily's eyebrows shot up. "Wow, skipping right past the awkward pity phase? That's refreshing. Would you prefer I treated you like you're made of glass?" "God, no." Lily laughed, a genuine sound that seemed to surprise even her. "I get enough of that from everyone else." Emma smiled, taking a bite of her apple. "So what's your story with the 3 fates over there?" She nodded subtly toward Madison's table. "Madison Kent. We used to be friends, believe it or not. Elementary school, middle school, practically inseparable. Then the accident happened, and—" Lily trailed off, absently pushing food around her plate. Let's just say her loyalty had limits. "Some friend?" Emma muttered. "What about you?" Lily asked, eager to change the subject. "Chicago, right? What brings you to our little corner of nowhere in the middle of the semester?" Emma's face closed slightly, the openness replaced by something more guarded. "Dad's job transfer, corporate relocation, the usual boring story." Lily sensed there was more, but didn't press. They all had their secrets. "Anyway," Emma continued, "I'm just trying to keep my head down, finish the semester with decent grades, and not cause any trouble." "That ship might have sailed this morning," Lily pointed out. Emma's smile turned rueful. "Yeah, I'm not great at the whole staying out of trouble thing." From across the cafeteria, Madison watched them with narrowed eyes, whispering something to Zoe that made the other girls snicker. "They're planning something," Lily said quietly. "That's Madison's plotting face." "Let her," Emma replied, her tone so matter-of-fact that Lily glanced at her in surprise. "I've dealt with worse." The bell rang, signaling the end of lunch period. As students began clearing their trays, Emma helped Lily maneuver through the crowded space, creating a path with subtle efficiency. "What's your next class?" Emma asked as they exited the cafeteria. "AP English with Mr. Winters." "Same," Emma said with a small smile. "Mind if I walk with you?" This time, Lily didn't hesitate. "I could use the company." As they headed toward the English wing, neither noticed the janitor mopping up a puddle of water just around the corner, nor Madison texting rapidly on her phone, with a smirk that promised trouble. What had started as a simple act of kindness was rapidly evolving into something more. A friendship forged in adversity, with neither girl fully aware of how much they would soon need each other. The apartment complex on Maple Street had seen better days. Paint peeled from the railings, and the elevator displayed an out-of-order sign that had become a permanent fixture. Lily wheeled herself up the ramp her mother had fought the landlord to install, fishing her key from her backpack. "I'm home," she called, maneuvering through the narrow doorway with practiced precision. 9-year-old Danny looked up from his homework spread across the coffee table. "Hey, Lil, Mom said she's working a double shift again. There's mac and cheese in the fridge." Lily nodded, unsurprised. Since the accident and her father's departure 6 months later, her mother had taken on extra shifts at Riverdale General to make ends meet. The medical bills hadn't disappeared just because her husband had. "How was school?" Danny asked, his pencil tapping against his math worksheet. "Same old," Lily replied, not wanting to worry him with the hallway incident. "Need help with that?" Danny pushed his math homework toward her. "Fractions are stupid. They're not so bad once you get the hang of them." Lily wheeled to the table, grateful for the distraction. Teaching Danny was far easier than dwelling on Madison's cruelty or Emma's unexpected kindness. As they worked through fraction problems, Lily glanced around their modest apartment. The furniture was worn but clean, the walls decorated with family photos from happier times. Most showed Lily standing, playing soccer, hiking with her family, posing with a trophy from a math competition. Sometimes it felt like those images belonged to someone else's life. "Is that a new friend?" Danny asked, suddenly pointing to Lily's phone where a text notification had appeared. Lily checked the message from an unknown number. "Hey, it's Emma. Got your number from the class directory. Just checking in after today." A small smile tugged at Lily's lips as she typed a reply. Across town, in the affluent Oakwood Heights neighborhood, Emma read Lily's response while sitting on her canopy bed. Her spacious room bore little evidence of her personality. No posters on the walls, no clutter on the surfaces, only a shelf of trophies and a framed black belt certificate hinted at her past. "Emma? Dinner's ready," her mother called from downstairs. The Jones family home was a far cry from Lily's apartment, a sprawling 2-story house with manicured gardens and a 3-car garage. Emma's father, Richard Jones, sat at the head of the dining table, reviewing documents even as their housekeeper served dinner. "How was school today?" her mother asked, passing the salad bowl. "Fine," Emma replied automatically. "Made a friend." Her parents exchanged surprised glances. Emma making friends hadn't been part of the plan. After the incident at her previous school, the agreement had been clear. Keep a low profile, focus on academics, avoid attachments that might complicate their fresh start. "That's nice," her father said cautiously. "Anyone we should know about?" Emma pushed food around her plate. "Just a girl from my English class, Lily Chen." "The scholarship student in the wheelchair?" her mother asked. At Emma's surprised look, she added, "I'm on the school foundation board. We approved her financial aid package after her accident." "Is there a problem?" Emma asked, her tone carrying a warning edge. Her father set down his papers. "Emma, we moved here to give you a fresh start. We agreed—" "I know what we agreed," Emma interrupted. "I'm not causing trouble. I'm making a friend. That's normal teenage behavior, right?" "Isn't that what the therapist said I should do?" An uncomfortable silence fell over the table. The therapist had indeed suggested Emma form healthy peer relationships after 6 sessions discussing the fighting incident that had led to her expulsion. "Just be careful," her mother finally said. "We can't afford another situation." Emma's grip tightened on her fork. "Lily's being bullied by Madison Kent, the principal's niece. Today they knocked her out of her wheelchair." Her father's expression hardened. "And what did you do?" "Nothing that would get me in trouble," Emma replied, carefully. I helped her pick up her books. That's all. The tension in her father's shoulders eased slightly. Good. Keep it that way. Remember why we're here. As if she could forget. The lawsuit had been settled out of court, the record sealed, but the whispers had followed them across 3 state lines. Richard Jones's rising corporate career couldn't withstand another scandal. He'd made that abundantly clear. Later that night, Emma stood at her bedroom window, looking out at the perfectly landscaped yard, illuminated by security lights. Her phone chimed with another text from Lily, a simple goodnight message that somehow made this sterile house feel less empty. Emma texted back, then opened her laptop. A quick search brought up Madison Kent's social media profiles, all public, all showcasing her privileged life and casual cruelty. Emma studied the images carefully, her expression unreadable. She had promised her parents no more fighting. But some battles were worth the consequences. Mr. Winters' English classroom fell silent as he tapped his marker against the whiteboard. The words, semester project, 40% of final grade, were written in bold red letters, causing a collective groan from the students. Settle down, he said, adjusting his wire-rimmed glasses. This year's theme is Voices of Resilience. You'll be analyzing literature that explores human endurance through adversity, then creating a multimedia presentation connecting these themes to real-world examples. Lily perked up despite herself. Literature analysis was her strength, and the theme resonated with her own experiences. From her seat near the window, she caught Emma watching her with a small smile. And before you all start making eyes at your friends, Mr. Winters continued, I've already assigned the partnerships. The room erupted in protests, which he silenced with a raised hand. The pairings are non-negotiable. Consider it preparation for the real world, where you rarely get to choose your collaborators. He began reading names from his clipboard. Lily half listened, expecting to be paired with another quiet student, perhaps Raj from the debate team or Shy Eliza from band, Lily Chen and Emma Jones. Lily's head snapped up in surprise. Across the room, Emma looked equally startled, though not displeased. A few rows ahead, Madison turned in her seat, her expression darkening when she saw the exchange of glances between the newly paired partners, Madison Kent and Tyler Williams. Madison's attention shifted immediately to the basketball team captain, her frown transforming into a calculated smile. Tyler, for his part, looked like he'd just won the lottery, oblivious to Madison's earlier displeasure. As Mr. Winters finished the list and began distributing project guidelines, Emma moved to the empty desk beside Lily. Looks like we're stuck with each other, Emma said quietly. Could be worse, Lily replied. Last year I got paired with Zoe, who contributed exactly 2 sentences to our 10-page paper. Let me guess. Both sentences were about her. Lily suppressed. A laugh. How did you know? I've met her type before. Emma's tone carried a weight that suggested a history deeper than casual observation. Mr. Winters circulated through the classroom, handing each pair a rubric and a list of suggested literary works. You'll need to select your primary text by Friday and submit your project outline by next Wednesday. Use the rest of the class period to start brainstorming with your partner. As conversations filled the room, Lily scanned the book list. I've read most of these already. The Glass Castle is probably our best bet. It's got great themes of resilience without being too cliché. Emma leaned over to look at the list. What about A Long Way Gone, the war memoir? You've read it? Lily asked, surprised. Yeah. At my old school. It's intense, but powerful. Lily considered it. That could work too. Maybe we could compare both. One fiction-based memoir, one war narrative. Show different types of resilience. Emma nodded appreciatively. I like how you think, Chen. As they discussed potential approaches, Lily found herself relaxing. Emma was sharp, insightful, and didn't treat Lily's ideas with the patronizing enthusiasm some used when interacting with the girl in the wheelchair. They were just 2 students with complementary academic strengths. Across the room, Madison whispered something to Tyler, her eyes fixed on Emma and Lily. Tyler laughed too loudly, drawing Mr. Winters' attention. Something you'd like to share with the class, Mr. Williams? No, sir, Tyler replied, not looking particularly chastened. When the teacher moved away, Madison resumed her whispered conversation, occasionally glancing toward Lily and Emma. She's definitely planning something, Lily murmured. Emma followed. Her gaze. Let her plan. We've got more important things to focus on. By the end of the period, they had outlined an ambitious project comparing multiple texts with real-world examples of resilience. When Mr. Winters stopped by their desks to review their progress, his eyebrows rose in approval. This is excellent. Work, ladies. One of the more thoughtful approaches I've seen. Ms. Chen, your literary analysis skills continue to impress. As he moved to the next pair, Madison's eyes narrowed at the praise directed at Lily. We should meet outside of class to work on this, Emma suggested as they packed up their notes. Library? Your place? Mine? Lily hesitated, thinking of her cramped apartment with Danny's toys scattered across the living room and her mother's irregular schedule. Library would be best, she said finally. After school tomorrow? Works for me. As the bell rang, they exited together, unaware that Madison had lingered behind to approach Mr. Winters' desk. Her voice carried a concerned tone that didn't match the calculation in her eyes. Mr. Winters, I'm worried about the project partnerships. I've heard some concerning things about the new student, Emma Jones. Something about her being expelled from her last school. The teacher frowned. That's not an appropriate discussion, Ms. Kent. Focus on your own project. Madison nodded contritely. But as she left the classroom, a small smile played at her lips. The seeds had been planted. Now she just needed to water them. Despite her initial plan to meet at the library, Lily found herself giving Emma directions to her apartment. The library had closed early for staff training, leaving them with few alternatives. Emma had offered her house, but something in her hesitation made Lily suggest her own place instead. It's nothing fancy, Lily warned as they approached the weathered building. And the elevator's perpetually broken. I don't mind taking the stairs, Emma said, then paused. But how do you... Service entrance in the back has a ramp. Mom fought the landlord for months to get it installed. Emma followed Lily around the building, carrying both their backpacks. The metal ramp was steep and rusted in places, but Lily navigated it with practiced ease. My mom's working late, and my brother should be at his friend's house until dinner, Lily explained as she unlocked the door, so we should have some quiet. The apartment was small but meticulously organized. Adaptations for Lily's wheelchair evident in the wider doorways and lowered countertops in the kitchen. Photos lined the walls, most from before the accident. Emma studied them with interest. You played soccer? She asked, noting a team photo where a younger Lily held a trophy. Team captain, Lily said, a hint of pride mingling with the loss in her voice. 2 years running. You were good? I was great. The simple certainty in Lily's tone made Emma smile. They settled at the kitchen table, spreading out their books and notes. As they worked, the initial awkwardness faded, replaced by a comfortable rhythm of ideas and observations. Lily's analytical mind complemented Emma's creative approach, their project taking shape with surprising speed. Want something to drink? Lily asked during a break. We have water, milk, and probably some ancient juice boxes of Danny's. Water's fine, Emma replied, reaching for her phone as it buzzed with a text. Her expression hardened briefly before she tucked the phone away. Everything okay? Lily asked. Just my dad checking in. He's protective. Lily wheeled to the refrigerator, retrieving 2 bottles of water. My mom's the same way since the accident. Sometimes I think she'd wrap me in bubble wrap if she could. The front door burst open before Emma could respond. A tornado of energy in the form of a 9-year-old boy bursting into the apartment. Lily, Josh's mom had to cancel, so she dropped me off and... Danny stopped abruptly, noticing Emma. Who are you? Danny, this is Emma from school. We're working on a project together. Lily performed the introductions with the patience of our experienced older sister. Emma, this is my little brother Danny, who apparently forgot his manners. Nice to meet you, Danny said automatically, then immediately returned his attention to Lily. Can we have pizza for dinner, please? Josh's mom was going to make pizza, and I was really looking forward to it. Lily hesitated, mentally calculating the remaining grocery budget for the week. Maybe we can make our own? We have English muffins. We could use as the base. Danny's face fell slightly. I guess that works. Emma watched the exchange quietly, noting the careful way Lily navigated her brother's disappointment against what was clearly a tight budget. Actually, Emma interjected, I was about to order delivery for us to fuel our brainpower. Would you, guys, mind if I got enough for everyone? My treat. Lily's pride warred visibly with practicality. You don't have to do that. I want to. Besides, my parents gave me money for dinner anyway. Emma pulled out her phone. Any preferences? Danny's eyes lit up. Pepperoni and breadsticks. Danny, Lily warned. Pepperoni and breadsticks it is, Emma said, with a smile already placing the order on her phone. While they waited for the pizza, Danny settled in the living room with his homework, occasionally asking Lily for help with a particularly difficult problem. Emma watched their interaction with interest, the easy affection between siblings, the natural way Lily shifted from student to caretaker. When the pizza arrived, they cleared the table of school materials and set out paper plates. Danny dominated the conversation, peppering Emma with questions about Chicago and whether she'd ever seen any famous people. Danny, let Emma eat, Lily admonished. It's fine, Emma assured her. It's nice having someone to talk to during dinner. Something in her tone made Lily look up. Do you not usually have family dinners? Emma shrugged. My parents work late a lot. It's usually just me and whatever the housekeeper left. You have a housekeeper? Danny asked, eyes wide. Danny! Lily looked mortified. Emma laughed. It's okay. Yeah, we do. My parents are rarely home, so they hired someone to keep the house running. That sounds lonely, Danny said with a child's blunt honesty. An uncomfortable silence fell over the table until Lily quickly changed the subject, asking Emma about her favorite movies. The conversation shifted to lighter topics, but the moment of vulnerability lingered in the air between them. As the evening wound down, Emma helped clean up while Lily got Danny started on his bedtime routine. When Emma gathered her things to leave, she paused at the door. Thanks for having me over, she said with a sincerity that surprised them both. Thanks for the pizza, Lily replied. And for not making it weird. She gestured vaguely at the modest apartment. Emma's expression softened. Nothing weird about a home that actually feels like one. The simple statement hung between them, a bridge of understanding neither had expected to build so quickly. The hallways seemed different the following week. Whispers followed Emma and Lily as they moved between classes together, but the outright taunting had temporarily subsided. Madison maintained her distance, which made Lily more nervous, not less. It's the calm before the storm, she explained to Emma as they sat in the courtyard during lunch. Madison doesn't retreat, she regroups. Emma unwrapped her sandwich. You give her too much credit. She's probably just moved on to easier targets. But Lily's prediction proved accurate that afternoon when she opened her locker after gym class. A cascade of paper slips fluttered to the ground, each bearing the same message in bold red marker, cripple. Some had crude drawings of wheelchairs, with X's through them. Lily's face burned as she quickly gathered the papers before anyone could notice. Too late. Zoe and Heather rounded the corner, their synchronized smirks confirming the source of the prank. Need help picking those up? Heather asked with mock concern. Oh wait, you're used to being on the floor, aren't you? Lily shoved the papers into her backpack, refusing to give them the satisfaction of a response. Her hands trembled slightly as she collected her textbooks. Madison wants you to know this is just the beginning, Zoe said, leaning against the neighboring locker. You should have stayed in your lane instead of getting cozy with the new girl. Is that supposed to scare me? Lily asked, surprising herself with the steadiness in her voice. 2 weeks ago, she would have remained silent, accepted the harassment as an inevitable part of her school existence. Zoe's smile faltered slightly. Just delivering the message. What you do with it is your business. They sauntered away, leaving Lily alone in the emptying hallway. She took a deep breath, trying to calm her racing heart. The notes themselves weren't particularly creative or hurtful compared to past torments, but their quantity suggested an escalation, a coordinated effort, rather than a spontaneous act of cruelty. She debated whether to tell Emma their friendship was still new, fragile in many ways. The last thing Lily wanted was to burden Emma with her problems, or worse, have Emma think she was using her as protection. The decision was made for her when Emma found her still at her locker, one of the papers visible in her open backpack. "What's that?" Emma asked, reaching for the red-marked slip before Lily could stop her. Emma's expression darkened as she read the single word. "And there are more, aren't there?" Lily nodded reluctantly. "Show me." After a moment's hesitation, Lily unzipped her backpack wider, revealing the crumpled pile of papers. Emma's jaw tightened as she looked through them, her eyes hardening with each note she examined. "Madison?" she asked, though it wasn't really a question. "Her minions delivered the message," Lily confirmed. "Apparently this is just the beginning, because I'm getting cozy with you." Emma's hands clenched around the papers. "We should report this," Lily gave a hollow laugh. "To who? Principal Kent? Madison's uncle? Or maybe Vice Principal Roberts, who plays golf with Madison's dad every Sunday?" She shook her head. "The last time I tried reporting anything, I was told to develop thicker skin and consider how difficult high school can be for everyone." The injustice of it burned in Emma's eyes. "That's the way things work here," Lily finished for her. "Look, I appreciate your concern, but this isn't your battle. What if I want it to be?" The intensity in Emma's voice made Lily look up sharply. Before she could respond, Mr. Winters appeared at the end of the hallway. "Ladies, shouldn't you be heading to class? The bell rang 2 minutes ago." "Sorry, Mr. Winters, we're on our way," Lily called back, quickly zipping her backpack. As they moved toward English class, Emma remained unusually quiet, her expression thoughtful rather than angry. The shift concerned Lily more than an outburst. "Would have. Promise me you won't do anything stupid," Lily whispered as they entered the classroom. "Define stupid," Emma replied with a half-smile that did nothing to reassure Lily. The rest of the day passed without incident, though Madison's smug expression whenever she passed them in the hallway confirmed her involvement in the locker incident. By final period, Lily had almost convinced herself that the notes were a one-time intimidation tactic rather than the promised beginning. That illusion shattered when she exited the school building to find her wheelchair ramp on the specially equipped school bus covered in what appeared to be cooking oil. The bus driver was arguing with a maintenance worker, neither noticing Lily's approach. "Could have caused a serious accident," the driver was saying. "This isn't a harmless prank." "I'm just saying there's no proof who did it," the maintenance man replied, "unless someone saw something. I saw Madison Kent and Tyler Williams by the buses during lunch break," a voice said from behind Lily. She turned to find Emma standing there, her expression resolute. "And you are?" the maintenance worker asked. "Emma Jones. I was coming back from the track and saw them by the buses. Didn't think anything of it at the time." The maintenance worker sighed. "I'll report it, but without more proof." "I understand," Emma said with surprising calm. She turned to Lily. "Need a ride home? My mom can pick us up." Lily hesitated, then nodded. As they waited in front of the school, she finally asked the question that had been bothering her all day. "Did you really see Madison by the buses?" Emma's expression revealed nothing. "Does it matter?" "It does if you're lying to get her in trouble." "I'm not." Emma's gaze was steady. "But even if I were, would it be so wrong? She deserves consequences for once in her privileged life." The conviction in Emma's voice sent a chill down Lily's spine. Not because she disagreed, but because she recognized something dangerous there, something that reminded her of the rumors beginning to circulate about Emma's past. The whispers followed Emma through the hallways of Westridge Academy, prestigious elite Westridge Academy, where her parents had paid an obscene amount of money to secure her admission mid-semester, where she was supposed to start fresh, where no one was supposed to know. "That's her," a voice hissed, as she passed a group of girls by the water fountain, the one who put Alexis Bennett in the hospital. Emma kept her eyes forward, her face a careful mask of indifference. The rumors were starting already, faster than at her last school, though not as accurate. Alexis Bennett hadn't been hospitalized, just a broken nose and a dislocated shoulder. The real damage had been to the Bennett family's pride and Emma's academic future. In the gym locker room, conversation stopped when she entered. Emma changed quickly, used to the silent scrutiny. As she headed to the track for warm-ups, Coach Davis called her aside. "Jones, a word." The athletic woman led Emma to her office, closing the door with deliberate care. "I received an interesting phone call from your previous coach at Lincoln Prep," she said without preamble. "She wanted to make sure I was aware of your background." Emma's stomach tightened. "My background?" Third-degree black belt in Taekwondo, state champion 2 years running. Coach Davis studied her with appraising eyes. "She also mentioned an incident that led to your departure." "It wasn't what people think," Emma said quietly. "I'm not interested in rumors, Jones. I'm interested in athletes. Our girls' self-defense program could use someone with your experience as a peer instructor." "Interested?" The offer caught Emma off guard. I'd have to check with my parents." Coach Davis nodded. "Let me know by Friday." "And Emma? Whatever happened at Lincoln, it's in the past. You've got a clean slate here." If only that were true. By lunch period, the rumors had evolved. Now Emma had supposedly been expelled for running an underground fight club. 2 seniors gave her a wide berth in the cafeteria line, eyeing her as if she might snap at any moment. Emma sat alone, picking at her food, when a tray dropped across from her. "Mind if I join you?" Lily asked, already settling her wheelchair. "At the table." "You shouldn't," Emma replied, looking around at the staring students. "You don't want to be associated with me right now." "Because you supposedly hospitalized someone?" Lily raised an eyebrow. "Madison works fast. I only started hearing that rumor third period." Emma's grip tightened on her fork. "I didn't hospitalize anyone." "I know." Lily's matter-of-fact tone made Emma look up. But something did happen, didn't it? For a moment, Emma considered deflection, the practiced denial she'd been taught to deploy. Instead, she found herself nodding slightly. "Not here," she said, glancing at the nearby tables. "After school?" They met at the park halfway between their homes. The late afternoon sun cast long shadows across the empty playground as Emma paced beside Lily's wheelchair. "I was at Lincoln Prep in Chicago," she began. "Prestigious private school, legacy admission, thanks to my dad being an alum. I'd been there since freshman year, kept to myself mostly, focused on academics and martial arts." Emma paused, remembering the marble hallways and entitled student body. There was this girl, Alexis Bennett. Her father's on the school board, mother's old money. The kind of person who's never heard the word no. She had this group that targeted scholarship students, especially this one girl, Mira. The memory tightened Emma's throat. Mira, with her second-hand uniform and brilliant mind, working twice as hard for half the recognition. Mira was Muslim, wore a hijab. Alexis and her friends made it their mission to make her life hell. Slipped pork into her lunch, tried to pull off her hijab, called her terrible things. Emma stopped pacing, her hands clenched at her sides. "I reported it multiple times. The administration did nothing, said it was just girls being girls, and suggested Mira needed to adjust to the culture. One day I found Mira crying in the bathroom. They'd cornered her, cut pieces of her hijab with scissors." Lily's eyes widened in horror. "That's assault?" "That's what I said. Went straight to the principal. He said he'd look into it, the same thing he'd been saying for months." Emma's voice hardened. "The next day, I confronted Alexis and her friends, told them to back off. Alexis shoved me, said some things about Mira about me. I warned her not to touch me again." Emma fell silent, the familiar shame and anger washing over her. "She didn't listen," Lily guessed quietly. "No, she tried to slap me. I blocked it and countered. Training kicked in, broke her nose, dislocated her shoulder when she fell." Emma's voice was flat, emotionless. "Should have stopped there, but I didn't. I told her if she ever touched Mira again, a broken nose would be the least of her worries." "Self-defense," Lily pointed out. Emma gave a bitter laugh. "Not according to the Bennett family lawyer, not according to the school board. They called it a premeditated attack because of my martial arts background. Said I'd threatened Alexis previously. Her father pushed for criminal charges. That's ridiculous. That's privilege, Emma corrected. My parents hired an expensive lawyer, settled out of court. The agreement was I'd withdraw from Lincoln, get counseling for my anger issues, and the Bennetts wouldn't press charges. My dad's company transferred him here to help with the fresh start. Lily was quiet for a long moment, processing. And now Madison's spreading rumors. She found out somehow. Probably has family connections at Lincoln. Emma sank onto a nearby bench. My parents are going to freak. They were very clear about the expectations for this second chance. So what are you going to do? Lily asked. Emma looked at her, the question settling heavily between them. What would she do? The smart move would be to distance herself from Lily. Keep her head down. Ignore Madison's provocations. That's what her parents would expect, what the settlement required. But watching Lily, who had already endured so much yet still showed up each day with quiet dignity, Emma knew she couldn't. Take the easy path. I don't know yet, she admitted. But I'm not abandoning you to Madison's games. That's not who I am. Even if it causes problems with your parents, with your fresh start, Emma's smile held no humor. Some things are worth fighting for. I just need to be smarter about how I fight this time. The library's quiet study room provided a welcome sanctuary from the increasingly hostile hallways of Riverdale High. Emma and Lily had claimed the corner table 3 afternoons in a row, spreading their research materials across the wooden surface as they refined their English project. I think we should lead with Ishmael Bia's experience, Lily suggested, referencing their primary text. The way he describes losing his innocence but finding his humanity again, it creates a powerful framework for discussing resilience. Emma nodded, making notes on her tablet, and then transitioned to the contemporary examples. The Syrian refugee artist, the Paralympic athletes, their project had evolved beyond Mr. Winter's requirements, incorporating multimedia elements and original research. While other pairs struggled with basic analysis, Emma and Lily found themselves deep in discussions about trauma, recovery, and the human capacity for overcoming adversity, topics that resonated with both of them for different reasons. Mr. Winters is going to be impressed, Emma said, reviewing their outline. This is graduate-level work. Lily smiled, a hint of pride breaking through her usual reserve. It feels good to work on something meaningful. Most school projects are just busy work. Speaking of which, Emma began, I've been thinking about... She stopped as Madison and Tyler entered the library, Madison's calculating gaze landing immediately on their table. The pair made their way to a nearby study carrel, Madison's voice deliberately louder than appropriate for the setting. It's so sad when people have to rely on charity cases for academic validation, she stage whispered to Tyler. I mean, we all know why Winters paired them together, the cripple and the psycho, the perfect special needs team. Tyler's uncomfortable laugh suggested he wasn't entirely on board with Madison's cruelty, but he didn't object either. Lily kept her eyes on her notes, a skill perfected through years of similar encounters. Emma, however, stiffened, her pencil snapping in her grip. Ignore her, Lily murmured. She's trying to provoke you. It's working, Emma replied through gritted teeth. That's what she wants. Any reaction gives her power. The librarian, Mrs. Patel, approached Madison's table with a stern expression. This is a quiet study area, Miss Kent. If you need to discuss your project, please use the group study rooms. Madison's smile was saccharine. Of course, Mrs. Patel. We were just leaving anyway. Our research is already complete. As they gathered their barely touched materials, Madison accidentally bumped Lily and Emma's table, sending several carefully organized research papers fluttering to the floor. Oops, Madison said with mock concern. So clumsy of me. Need help picking those up? She glanced pointedly at Lily's wheelchair. Before Emma could respond, Mrs. Patel intervened again. Ms. Kent, please be more careful. Now help clean up the mess you've made. With the librarian watching, Madison had no choice but to kneel and gather the scattered papers, her face flushed with humiliation. She thrust the disorganized stack at Emma without making eye contact, then hurried from the library with Tyler. Trailing behind, "Thank you, Mrs. Patel," Lily said quietly once they'd gone. The librarian adjusted her glasses with a small smile. "I've been watching that girl get away with too much for too long. Sometimes all it takes is one person willing to hold her accountable." She gave Emma an appraising look before returning to her desk. Emma began reorganizing their papers, her anger gradually subsiding. "At least someone on the staff isn't afraid to stand up to her. Mrs. Patel's daughter was bullied pretty badly a few years ago," Lily explained. "She transferred schools because of it. I think Mrs. Patel has a personal stake in stopping that kind of behavior." They worked in companionable silence for a while, both aware that Madison's interruption had been a relatively minor incident compared to what might come. The rumors about Emma's past were spreading, growing more exaggerated with each retelling. By lunch that day, she'd supposedly put 3 girls in intensive care and been investigated by the FBI. "We should plan for sabotage," Emma said suddenly. Lily looked up from her notes. "What?" "Our project. Madison's going to try to sabotage it somehow. We should have backups of everything." Lily hadn't considered this possibility, though it made sense given Madison's escalating hostility. "You think she'd go that far?" "I think she'll go as far as she needs to maintain her position. Our project is getting attention from teachers. We're challenging her academic territory." The assessment was accurate. Earlier that day, Mr. Winters had used their project outline as an example for the class, praising their ambitious approach and thorough research. Madison's expression had darkened with each word of commendation. "You're right," Lily acknowledged. "We should make copies of everything, cloud backups too." Emma nodded, already creating a shared drive on her tablet, "and we should keep the most important materials with us at all times, not in our lockers." As they implemented their precautions, Lily found herself studying Emma with new appreciation. The rumors painted her as volatile and dangerous, but the girl beside her was methodical, strategic, preparing for an attack rather than initiating one. "What?" Emma asked, noticing Lily's gaze. "Nothing. Just thinking that Madison has no idea who she's dealing with." Emma's smile was slight but genuine. "Neither does most of the school. They're also busy spreading gossip about what happened at Lincoln that they haven't bothered to learn why it happened." "Their loss," Lily said with a shrug. "I prefer knowing the real Emma anyway." The simple statement hung between them, an affirmation of their growing friendship in the face of mounting opposition. As they continued working, neither mentioned the whispers that followed them through the hallways or the notes that still occasionally appeared in Lily's locker. Some battles were fought not by confrontation, but by persistence, by showing up, each day doing excellent work, and refusing to be diminished by others' cruelty. It was a form of resistance both girls understood intimately, for different reasons. The flyer appeared in Lily's locker on Thursday morning, glossy paper with embossed lettering, announcing Tyler Williams's birthday party that weekend. An exclusive event at his parents' lakeside mansion, invitation only. Lily stared at it in inept confusion, certain it had been placed in her locker by mistake. "What's that?" Emma asked, approaching with 2 coffees from the school cafe. Lily handed her the invitation. "Someone's idea of a joke, I guess." Emma examined the flyer, her expression skeptical. "Tyler Williams' party? Why would?" "Lily, there you are." Madison's voice cut through the hallway chatter as she approached, flanked as always by Zoe and Heather. Her smile seemed unusually genuine. "I see you got your invitation." Lily's confusion deepened. "I think there's been a mistake." "No mistake," Madison insisted. "Tyler specifically asked me to invite you." Emma crossed her arms. "Since when does Tyler Williams even know Lily exists?" Madison's smile remained fixed, though her eyes hardened slightly at Emma's intervention. "Since I told him about her amazing contributions to the school literary magazine. He was really impressed." The explanation was plausible. Lily had published several poems and short stories in the school's literary journal, though She doubted Tyler Williams had ever opened a copy. "You should come too, Emma," Madison added, the words clearly an afterthought. "It'll be fun. The whole senior class will be there." Before either girl could respond, Madison continued, "Tyler's parents have that amazing accessible lake house. You know, with the elevator and everything. They renovated after his grandmother needed a wheelchair." She turned to Lily with what appeared to be genuine enthusiasm. "You'll be totally comfortable there. No awkward stares or anything." The consideration was so unexpected that Lily found herself momentarily speechless. Madison had never before acknowledged her disability as anything other than a target for mockery. "Think about it," Madison said, already turning to leave. "Saturday, 8 o'clock. It would really mean a lot to Tyler," she paused, adding with apparent sincerity, "and to me. I know we haven't always gotten along, but senior year is almost over. Time to move past old drama, right?" As Madison and her friends walked away, Emma stared after them with unconcealed suspicion. What was that about? "I have no idea," Lily admitted, still holding the invitation. "That's the first civil conversation I've had with Madison since freshman year." They moved to their usual spot in the courtyard, both contemplating the unexpected development. "You're not actually considering going, are you?" Emma asked finally. Lily hesitated. "I don't know. It would be nice to attend a normal teenage party. For once, I haven't been invited to anything since the accident." "This isn't normal, Lily, it's Madison. There's an angle here we're not seeing." "Maybe," Lily conceded, "or maybe she's actually trying to make amends before graduation." Emma's skepticism was evident in her raised eyebrow. "The same Madison who filled your locker with those notes? Who tried to sabotage the bus ramp? Who calls you cripple behind your back?" "People can change," Lily said, though her voice lacked conviction. "Not overnight, and not without reason." Emma sipped her coffee, thinking, what if this is about your brother, Danny? What about him? Your mom works at the hospital, right? With Madison's dad, Dr. Kent? Lily nodded slowly. "She's a nurse in the pediatric ward. Dr. Kent is the department head. Maybe Madison's trying to get to your mom through you? Some hospital politics thing?" The theory wasn't entirely implausible. Dr. Kent was known for playing favorites with his staff, and those in his good graces received better shifts and opportunities for advancement. "I don't think so," Lily said after considering it. "Mom rarely interacts with him directly. She's on the night shift specifically to avoid most of the politics." They pondered in silence until the warning bell rang. As they gathered their things, Lily tucked the invitation into her backpack rather than throwing it away, a decision Emma noted with concern. "Just promise me you'll think about it carefully," Emma said as they headed to class. "Madison doesn't do anything without an agenda, throughout." The day the invitation became a popular topic of conversation. Several students Lily barely knew approached to ask if she was attending Tyler's party, expressing surprise and newfound interest when she confirmed she'd been invited. "It's weird," Lily confided to Emma during lunch. "Suddenly, people who've ignored me for years are acting like we're friends." "They're following Madison's lead," Emma observed, "which means this is definitely part of some plan." Despite Emma's warnings, Lily couldn't help feeling a pull toward normalcy, toward the experience of being included rather than isolated. The prospect of attending a lakeside party, being treated like any other senior, was tempting after years of exclusion. By final period, the invitation had taken on disproportionate significance in Lily's mind. When she mentioned it to Mr. Winters after class, seeking the perspective of an adult she trusted, his response surprised her. "It might be good for you to socialize more," he suggested. "You're an exceptional student, Lily, but high school isn't just about academics. These social experiences are important too." His endorsement swayed her further, despite the caution still nagging at the back of her mind. "I think I want to go," she told Emma as they left school that afternoon. "Will you come with me? Safety in numbers?" Emma's reluctance was obvious, but her loyalty won out. "Of course. I'm not letting you walk into whatever this is alone." "It's probably just a party," Lily said, trying to convince herself as much as Emma. "Maybe," Emma conceded, "but we're going to be prepared in case it's not." As they made plans for Saturday night, neither noticed Madison watching from her car in the parking lot. a satisfied smile playing across her lips as she texted Tyler, "It worked. They're coming." The Williams Lake House glowed against the night sky, its expansive windows spilling light onto the manicured lawn. Cars lined the circular driveway, music pulsed from within, and the sounds of laughter drifted across the water. Emma's mother had dropped them off at the entrance, promising to return at midnight unless called earlier. "Text me if you need anything," she'd said, her eyes lingering on Emma with maternal concern. Now, as they approached the front door, Lily smoothed her blouse nervously. She'd spent hours selecting an outfit that was fashionable but wouldn't draw. Attention to her wheelchair, dark jeans, a deep blue top with silver accents, and the silver pendant her father had given her before he left. Emma, by contrast, had dressed for mobility rather than style. Black jeans, boots, and a fitted jacket that concealed her athletic frame. "Remember the plan," Emma said quietly. "We stay together. We leave at the first sign of trouble, and we don't accept drinks from anyone," Lily finished. "I know, but maybe we should try to relax a little. It might actually be fun." Emma's expression suggested she found that highly unlikely, but she nodded as Tyler opened the door before they could knock. "Hey, you made it!" His enthusiastic greeting seemed genuine as he welcomed them inside. "The ramp to the back deck is through the living room, and the elevator to the upper level is by the kitchen if you want to check out the game room later." Lily blinked in surprise at his consideration. "Thanks, Tyler." "No problem. Drinks are in the kitchen. Food's everywhere. Make yourselves at home." He grinned, already distracted by new arrivals behind them. The party was in full swing, the house packed with seniors and even some college students home for the weekend. To Lily's astonishment, several people greeted her by name, engaging her in casual conversation as if they'd been friends for years. One girl from her calculus class even complimented the literary magazine story Lily had written last semester, proof she'd actually read it. "This is surreal," she whispered to Emma as they made their way toward the kitchen. "Everyone's being so nice." Emma remained vigilant, her eyes constantly scanning the crowd. "Madison hasn't shown up yet. That worries me." As if summoned by her name, Madison appeared at the kitchen entrance, resplendent in a red dress that drew every eye in the vicinity. She beamed when she spotted them. "You came," she exclaimed, giving Lily a brief hug that left her stunned. "I'm so glad. Come on, I want to show you something amazing." Lily glanced at Emma, who gave a subtle nod. They followed Madison through the crowded kitchen to a set of French doors leading to the back deck. "Tyler's dad had this built last summer," Madison explained, opening the doors to reveal a stunning view of the lake, illuminated by strings of lights and the full moon above. A glass railing provided an unobstructed vista while ensuring safety. "It's beautiful," Lily admitted, wheeling forward to take in the scene. "Right? And look, they installed this special platform." Madison pointed to a raised section of the deck where a few people were dancing. "It's completely level and smooth, perfect for dancing even in a wheelchair." The consideration was so unexpected that Lily found herself momentarily speechless. Had she misjudged Madison all these years? Was this genuine remorse for past behavior? "That's really thoughtful," she managed finally. Madison smiled, apparently pleased by the reaction. "I'll get us some drinks. Be right back." As she disappeared into the house, Emma knelt beside Lily's wheelchair. "I don't like this. It feels staged." "Maybe." "She's genuinely trying to make amends," Lily suggested, though her own skepticism was beginning to resurface. Then why invite half the school to witness it? If she wanted to apologize, she could have done it privately. Before Lily could respond, Madison returned with 3 cups. "Non-alcoholic for you, Lily. I know you mentioned medication interactions once." Another surprisingly thoughtful gesture. Lily accepted the drink cautiously. "A toast," Madison proposed, raising her cup. "To new beginnings and leaving the past behind." The 3 girls clinked cups, though Emma only pretended to sip hers. Madison excused herself moments later to greet more guests, leaving them alone on the deck. "See?" Lily said, Maybe this really is her way of making peace before graduation. Emma remained unconvinced but softened, seeing Lily's enjoyment. For the next hour, they mingled with classmates, discussed their English project with genuinely interested peers, and even ventured onto the dance floor, where Lily discovered the freedom of moving to the music on the smooth platform. It was the most normal Lily had felt since the accident. Not defined by her wheelchair, not isolated by pity or cruelty, just another teenager enjoying a party. The persistent knot of tension she carried between her shoulders began to loosen. "I'm going to find the bathroom," she told Emma during a break in the music. "I'll be right back." "I'll come with you," Emma offered immediately. "I'll be fine," Lily assured her. "Madison said there's an accessible bathroom just off the main hallway. I saw it when we came in." After a moment's hesitation, Emma nodded. "Okay, but text me if you need anything." Lily navigated through the crowd, accepting friendly greetings as she made her way inside. The bathroom was where Madison had described, thankfully unoccupied. As she washed her hands afterward, she studied her reflection, cheeks flushed from dancing, eyes bright with excitement. For once, she didn't immediately notice the wheeled chair in her self-image. As she exited the bathroom, Madison appeared at her side. "Having fun?" "Actually, yes," Lily admitted. "Thanks for inviting me." "There's something else I want to show you," Madison said, her voice carrying an undercurrent Lily couldn't quite identify. "A surprise. It's upstairs in the media room." Alarm bells rang faintly in Lily's mind. "I should find Emma first." "She's already up there," Madison replied smoothly. "Tyler was showing her his father's film collection. Come on, the elevator's this way." Against her better judgment, Lily followed, the desire to believe in Madison's reformation overriding her caution. The elevator was as promised, spacious and accessible. Madison pressed the button for the second floor, her smile never wavering. As the doors opened, Lily immediately sensed something was wrong. The upstairs hallway was empty, the lighting dimmer than the main floor. No sounds of a party reached them here. "Where is everyone?" she asked, hesitating at the elevator threshold. "In here," Madison gestured toward a door at the end of the hall. "It's a surprise, remember?" Reluctantly, Lily wheeled forward. As Madison opened the door to the darkened media room, dread pooled in Lily's stomach. "Emma," she called softly. The lights flicked on. The room was empty except for a large screen on the far wall, displaying a blown-up photograph of Lily's accident. Her crushed car, her broken body being extracted from the wreckage. Images she had never seen, had never wanted to see. "Surprise," Madison said, her friendly mask dissolving into cruel satisfaction. Lily froze, her eyes locked on the horrific image. Her breath caught in her throat as memories flooded back. The screeching tires, the shattering glass, the metallic taste of blood. The photograph captured the moment that had divided her life into before and after, a moment she had tried desperately to forget. How did you get that?" she whispered, unable to look away. Madison leaned against the doorframe, savoring her victory. "Daddy has access to all hospital records, including the accident photos from your file." She advanced into the room, her voice dangerously soft. "Did you really think I wanted to be friends after you turned everyone against me? I never—" "Save it," Madison snapped. "You played the victim so well. Poor Lily in her wheelchair. Everyone felt so sorry for you. Teachers gave you special treatment. Friends abandoned me to help you. My boyfriend at the time spent weeks organizing fundraisers for your medical bills instead of paying attention to me." The depth of Madison's resentment was staggering. All these years, Lily had assumed Madison's cruelty stemmed from disgust or discomfort with her disability. The truth was far more twisted. Madison blamed her for stealing attention, for disrupting the social hierarchy just by existing in her broken state. That's what this is about? Attention? Lily struggled to comprehend the pettiness of it. "This is about putting people back in their proper places," Madison replied coldly. "You down there," she pointed to the floor, "and me up here." She gestured to herself with a satisfied smile. The sound of footsteps in the hall made Madison's smile widen. "Right on time. Everyone's coming up for the main event." Lily's phone buzzed in her pocket. Emma, no doubt wondering where she was. Before she could reach for it, Tyler appeared at the door, followed by several others from Madison's inner circle. Their expressions ranged from excitement to uncomfortable hesitation. "Madison, maybe this is going too far," Tyler muttered, eyeing the accident photo with visible discomfort. "Shut up, Tyler," Madison said pleasantly. "Remember whose father is writing your recommendation for that athletic scholarship?" Tyler fell silent, though he wouldn't meet Lily's eyes. "Where's Emma?" Lily demanded, suddenly aware of how vulnerable she was without her friend. Madison's smile turned predatory. "Probably still looking for you downstairs. I may have told her you went out to get some air." She turned to the growing crowd. "Everyone, welcome to the main event. Tonight we finally learn the truth about our school's two biggest charity cases." She clicked a remote, and the accident photo was replaced by news headlines from Chicago, articles about a violent incident at an elite private school. Emma's name was highlighted in several. "The Psycho and the Cripple," Madison announced. "Quite the pair. Did you know your new best friend nearly killed a girl at her last school? Had to be shipped here to avoid criminal charges?" Lily's hands gripped her wheelchair armrests, knuckles white. "That's not what happened." "No?" Madison raised a perfectly arched eyebrow. "The great Emma Jones, Defender of the Week, just happened to hospitalize a classmate. My cousin goes to Lincoln Prep. She told me everything about Emma's little episode." The crowd murmured. The rumors they'd been hearing seemingly confirmed by Madison's evidence. "And now," Madison continued, clicking the remote again, "the eye-up moment we've all been waiting for." The screen changed to a video, security footage from what appeared to be the school parking lot earlier that week. The timestamp showed Tuesday afternoon. The image quality was poor but clear enough to show Lily at her accessible parking spot, struggling to transfer from her car to her wheelchair in the rain. Lily's stomach dropped. Her personal nightmare was playing out in high definition for an audience of her peers. The camera had captured everything: her awkward movements, her frustrated tears when she dropped her backpack in a puddle, the intimate details of her daily struggle. "Stop it," she said, her voice stronger than she expected. "Turn it off." Madison ignored her, narrating the footage with mock sympathy. "See how hard it is for poor Lily? So brave, so inspirational. Don't you all just want to help her? Carry her books? Give her special treatment?" The crowd shifted uncomfortably. This was crossing a line even by high school cruelty standards. "I said turn it off." Lily's voice echoed through the room as she wheeled toward Madison, reaching for the remote. Madison danced backward, laughing. "Or what? You'll run me over with your wheelchair? Face it, Lily. You're pathetic, and now everyone can see exactly how—" The remote flew from Madison's hand as a figure burst through the doorway, moving with such speed and precision that several students gasped. Emma stood between Lily and Madison, her stance protective but controlled. "Party's over," she said, her voice deadly calm as she crushed the remote under her boot. Madison recovered quickly from her surprise. "Perfect timing. We were just discussing—" "Your violent tendencies, Emma. Care to demonstrate for the audience?" "Emma, don't," Lily warned, recognizing the dangerous stillness in her friend's posture. "She's not worth it." "Listen to your crippled friend," Madison taunted. "She knows what happens when Emma Jones loses her temper. Should we show everyone the hospital photos of Alexis Bennett after you attacked her? You mean after I defended a Muslim student you and your friends were assaulting?" Emma's voice was steady, but Lily could see the tension in her shoulders. "After you cut her hijab with scissors and called her a terrorist." The accusation hung in the air, creating a ripple of discomfort among the onlookers. This wasn't the story they'd been hearing in the hallway rumors. "She's lying," Madison hissed, though a flicker of uncertainty crossed her features. "My cousin said—" "Your cousin said what the Bennett family wanted everyone to believe," Emma interrupted. "Did she mention that the school settled with my family after we threatened a countersuit with evidence of the ongoing harassment they'd ignored? Or that 3 other students came forward about being bullied by Alexis and her friends?" Madison's composure cracked slightly. This clearly wasn't the narrative she'd expected. She turned to the crowd, attempting to regain control. "Are you really going to believe the psycho who got kicked out of her last school?" But the damage was done. The gathered students were exchanging uncertain glances, the clear villain-victim narrative Madison had constructed beginning to blur. Principal Kent's office felt smaller than usual on Monday morning. Perhaps it was the number of people crammed inside: Lily and her mother, Emma and both her parents, Mr. Winters as faculty advocate, and of course Principal Kent himself. His resemblance to Madison evident in the tightness around his mouth as he reviewed the statements before him. "Let me make sure I understand," he said finally. "You're accusing my niece of orchestrating a systematic bullying campaign culminating in a public humiliation involving private medical records and unauthorized surveillance footage." The clinical way he summarized Saturday night's events made them sound almost reasonable. He hadn't been there to see Lily's face as she watched herself struggle in that parking lot, hadn't heard Madison's mocking narration, hadn't witnessed the deliberate cruelty designed to strip Lily of her dignity. "That's correct," Mrs. Chen said firmly. Her night shift had ended just in time for this meeting, and despite her exhaustion, her spine was steel. "And given that the surveillance footage could only have come from school security cameras, I'm equally concerned about how a student gained access to it." Principal Kent shifted uncomfortably. "We're investigating that matter internally, along with the theft of confidential medical records from the hospital where you serve on the board, and your brother is chief of medicine." Emma's father interjected, his corporate litigation experience evident in his tone. "I've already spoken with the hospital administrator. They're conducting their own investigation." The principal's face reddened slightly. "I assure you, if Madison was involved in accessing those records, neither I nor my brother had any knowledge of it." "With all due respect," Emma's mother said, her calm voice belying the anger in her eyes, "that's not the only issue here. Our daughter came to this school for a fresh start and instead has been subjected to rumors, harassment, and now this incident." Mr. Winters cleared his throat. "If I may, I've observed the situation developing over several weeks. The targeting of Lily has been persistent and escalating. Emma was merely standing up for her friend by threatening my niece?" Principal Kent asked sharply. "I didn't threaten her," Emma said, speaking for the first time since the meeting began. "I stopped her from continuing to humiliate Lily. I never touched her." Multiple witness statements confirmed this version of events. After Emma's intervention, several students had helped Lily leave the party while others had confronted Madison about the inappropriate display. The social tide had turned unexpectedly, with even Tyler eventually standing up to Madison, telling her she had gone too far this time. "Regardless," Principal Kent continued, "this incident has disrupted the school environment and created significant tension among the student body. A tension created by your niece's actions," Mrs. Chen pointed out, "not by the victims of her behavior." The principal bristled. "I'm trying to be objective here." "Are you?" Emma's father challenged. "Because from where I'm sitting it seems you're working awfully hard to minimize what happened. My daughter's reputation was deliberately damaged by false rumors that Madison spread. Lily's privacy was violated in the most egregious way, yet you're treating this like a mutual disagreement between students." A heavy silence fell over the office. Principal Kent removed his glasses, pinching the bridge of his nose. "What exactly are you asking for here?" he asked finally. "Accountability," Lily said quietly, finding her voice. All eyes turned to her. "I've spent 2 years being targeted by Madison and her friends. Saturday night wasn't an isolated incident. It was the culmination of a pattern that the school has consistently ignored." Her mother placed a supportive hand on her shoulder. "I want the bullying to stop," Lily continued. "I want the school to acknowledge what happened and take appropriate disciplinary action. And I want protocols put in place to ensure this doesn't happen to anyone else." Mr. Winters nodded approvingly. Lily and Emma are both exceptional students whose academic experience has been compromised by this situation. As their teacher, I'm advocating for decisive action. Principal Kent sighed heavily. "I'll need to consult with the school board and review all the evidence. Until then, Madison will be suspended pending investigation." "And the security footage," Mrs. Chen pressed, Has it been deleted from all school servers? Who had access to it? Our IT department is handling that, the principal assured her, though his confidence seemed forced. We take student privacy very seriously, Emma's father raised an eyebrow. Seriously enough to pursue criminal charges if it's determined the footage was illegally accessed or distributed? The implied threat hung in the air. Principal Kent's jaw tightened, but he gave a curt nod. As the meeting concluded, the adults continued discussing next steps, while Emma and Lily exchanged glances. The official response felt hollow compared to the violation they'd experienced. Administrative procedures and formal investigations couldn't erase what had happened or heal the wounds it had inflicted. In the hallway outside the office, Lily's mother knelt beside her wheelchair. "Are you okay, sweetheart?" "Really okay," Lily nodded, though her eyes burned with unshed tears. "I'm okay, just tired of fighting." "You shouldn't have to fight," her mother said fiercely. "That's supposed to be the adult's job." Emma's parents were engaged in intense conversation with Mr. Winters, their expressions grim. Emma slipped away to join Lily. "They're talking about transferring me again," she said quietly. "Dad thinks it would be easier than dealing with the fallout here." Panic flared in Lily's chest at the thought of losing her only ally. "You can't leave." "I don't want to," Emma assured her, "but my parents are worried about my record. One more incident and they think colleges will reject me automatically." "Standing up to a bully isn't an incident," Lily insisted. "It's the right thing to do." Before Emma could respond, Principal Kent emerged from his office, his expression unreadable as he approached them. "Ladies, you're excused from classes. Today, if you wish, take some time to process everything." His gaze lingered on Emma. "And Ms. Jones, despite what you may think, I do take bullying seriously. Madison's actions were unacceptable, regardless of our family connection." The acknowledgement, however minimal, was unexpected. As he walked away, Lily and Emma exchanged surprised glances. "No." "You believe him?" Emma asked. Lily shrugged. "I don't know, but it's more than he's ever admitted before. It wasn't justice, not really. But perhaps it was a start." The school's response to the party incident evolved over the following week. Madison's suspension stretched to 10 days, though rumors suggested her family was fighting even this modest punishment. The hallways buzzed with varying accounts of what had happened, each retelling, shifting the narrative slightly. By Wednesday, Emma and Lily had become reluctant celebrities, the girls who had finally stood up to Madison Kent. "It's weird," Lily remarked during lunch. "People who never spoke to me before are suddenly acting like we're friends." Emma nodded, observing the cafeteria with wary eyes. Several students had waved or stopped by their table with supportive comments. "Fame is fickle. They're just excited about the drama." "You're such a cynic," Lily teased, though she didn't entirely disagree. "Realist," Emma corrected. "But speaking of realism, we should talk about what happens when Madison comes back." The question had been weighing on both of them. Madison's suspension was temporary and her humiliation permanent. A dangerous combination. "She'll be worse than ever," Lily acknowledged, especially since some of her friends have jumped ship. Indeed, Madison's inner circle had fractured in the aftermath. Heather had approached Lily with an awkward apology, admitting she'd always felt uncomfortable with Madison's behavior, but had been too afraid to speak up. Others had made similar overtures, distancing themselves from Madison's cruelty now that it had been publicly exposed. "We need to be prepared," Emma said, "not just to protect ourselves, but to make sure she doesn't just find easier targets." Lily considered this. "What did you have in mind?" Emma glanced around, then leaned closer. "I've been thinking about something." Coach Davis suggested a self-defense class, but adapted for different abilities, including wheelchair techniques. "Self-defense in a wheelchair?" Lily raised an eyebrow, intrigued despite her skepticism. "It exists. There are specific techniques designed for seated defense." Emma's expression grew animated, her passion for martial arts evident. "It's about using what you have. Strong arms, the chair itself as both shield and weapon, leverage points." The idea was appealing. not just learning to defend herself physically, but reclaiming a sense of power that Madison had tried to strip away. "I'd be interested," Lily said. "But would the school even allow it?" Coach Davis is on board. She's been wanting to expand the self-defense program beyond the standard PE curriculum. After what happened, the administration is eager to show they're taking action against bullying. Their conversation was interrupted by Raj from the debate team, clutching his lunch tray with uncharacteristic nervousness. "Can I join you?" he asked, nodding toward the empty seat. Emma and Lily exchanged glances, then made room. As Raj settled in, he spoke in a rush, as if afraid he might lose his nerve. "I wanted to say, what Madison did to you, Lily, it was wrong, and I should have said something sooner about all of it, the way she and her friends treated you after your accident." Lily blinked in surprise. Raj had never been among Madison's followers, but he had been one of the many who witnessed her bullying without intervention. "Thank you," she said simply. "It wasn't just you," he continued, staring at his tray. "She's targeted a lot of us." Arjun quit the debate team last year after she spread rumors that he cheated on a tournament. And Eliza from band. Madison stole her music composition and submitted it as her own for that art scholarship. This was news to both girls. While Madison's cruelty toward Lily had been public and persistent, these other incidents had remained hidden. "Why didn't anyone report her?" Emma asked. Raj shrugged helplessly. "Her uncle is the principal. Her father runs the hospital where half our parents work. Her mother chairs 3 community boards. Who would believe us over her?" The reality of Madison's untouchable status hung heavily in the air. It wasn't just her social power, but her family's community influence that had allowed her behavior to continue unchecked for so long. "Things are different now," Emma said firmly. "After what happened at the party, people are watching. Administration is watching." "That's actually why I wanted to talk to you," Raj said, lowering his voice. "Some of us are thinking of forming a student advocacy group for reporting bullying, supporting targets, documenting incidents, so it's not just one person's word against another's." Lily leaned forward, intrigued. "Like a formal organization with faculty, sponsors, official procedures, the works," Raj confirmed. "Mr. Winters already agreed to be one of the advisors. We thought, well, we hoped you both might want to be involved." The invitation sparked something in Lily, a sense of purpose beyond just surviving Madison's attacks, a chance to transform her experience into something constructive. "I'm in," she said without hesitation. Emma nodded her agreement. "Count me in too." By the end of the week, the newly formed Student Advocacy Coalition had 15 members and a growing list of previously unreported bullying incidents. Emma worked with Coach Davis to develop the first accessible self-defense workshop scheduled for the following Tuesday. Lily found herself staying after school most days, helping draft the coalition's mission statement and reporting procedures. For the first time since her accident, school felt like more than just an endurance test. It felt like a place where she could make a difference. "You know Madison will try to shut this down when she comes back," Emma warned. As they finalized plans for the coalition's first official meeting, Lily smiled, a determined gleam in her eye. "Let her try. She's not the only one with influence around here anymore." The statement wasn't bravado. Something fundamental had shifted in the school's power dynamics. While Madison had been isolated by her suspension, Lily and Emma had been building connections, creating a network of support that extended beyond their friendship. They were no longer easy targets, but the center of a growing movement for change. As they left school that Friday, a sense of cautious optimism had replaced the dread that had previously accompanied thoughts of Madison's return. They were no longer facing her alone. The video appeared on Monday morning, just hours before Madison was scheduled to return from suspension. Anonymous but unmistakable in its origins, the clip spread through the student body with the viral speed only possible in a digital age. By first period, nearly everyone at Riverdale High had seen it. Emma discovered its existence when she arrived at school to find Lily waiting at the entrance, her face pale with shock. "Have you seen it?" Lily asked without preamble. "Seen what?" Lily wordlessly handed over her phone. The video playing on screen wasn't the surveillance footage from the parking lot, as Emma initially feared. Instead, it was clearly filmed at Tyler's party, capturing Madison's presentation in the media room. The angle suggested someone had recorded it surreptitiously, probably from the back of the crowd. The footage was damning. Madison's voice crystal clear as she mocked Lily's disability, her deliberate cruelty on full display. The camera captured Emma's intervention, the tense standoff, and most crucially, Madison's inadvertent confession about the bullying at Lincoln Prep as she tried to taunt Emma. Emma trailed off, struggling to find the right word. "I know," Lily agreed. "It's everywhere. Someone posted it anonymously to the school's unofficial social pages last night. Then it spread to parents' groups." The video ended with Madison's stunned face as several students voiced their disapproval and moved to help Lily leave the room. The contrast between her smug confidence at the beginning and her shocked outrage at the end was stark. "Do you know who recorded it?" Emma asked, handing the phone back. Lily shook her head. "No idea, but they must have realized its importance." As they entered the school building, the impact of the video was immediately evident. Conversations hushed as they passed, but not with the malicious whispers of before. These were different. Supportive glances, sympathetic nods, the occasional word of encouragement. "It's like we're walking through an alternate universe," Lily murmured. Their first indication of official fallout came during homeroom, when a somber announcement requested the presence of Student Advocacy Coalition members in the conference room during third period. By lunchtime, the rumor mill had produced a consistent story. Madison would not be returning today after all. "My dad serves on the school board with Madison's mom," Heather confided when she joined them at lunch. "They called an emergency meeting last night after the video went viral. Apparently, Dr. Kent is furious, not at Madison, but at the school for allowing the video to spread." "That's ridiculous," Emma said. "The school can't control what students post online." Heather shrugged. "The Kents are used to controlling narratives. This is the first time they've completely lost grip on one. The meeting with administration confirmed the rumors. Principal Kent had been conspicuously absent, replaced by Vice Principal Roberts, who looked distinctly uncomfortable addressing the coalition members. "In light of recent developments," she began carefully, "the administration is implementing immediate changes to our bullying response protocols. We're also conducting a thorough investigation into past incidents that may have been inadequately addressed." The clinical language couldn't disguise what was really happening. Damage control. The video had exposed not just Madison's behavior, but the system that had protected her for years. Additionally, Vice Principal Roberts continued, "we'll be expanding the peer advocacy program you've proposed and providing official resources for its implementation." After years of indifference, the administration's sudden enthusiasm for anti-bullying measures was almost comical. Nevertheless, the coalition members accepted the support with measured gratitude. Results mattered more than motivations. As the meeting concluded, Mr. Winters held Emma and Lily back. "There's something else you should know," he said, once the others had left. "Madison's parents are withdrawing her from Riverdale. She's being sent to a private academy in Vermont to finish the semester." The news landed with surprising weight. After years of torment, Madison's reign had ended, not with confrontation, but with retreat. Is that justice? Lily wondered aloud, as they processed the information. She just gets to start over somewhere else? Emma considered the question. "I don't know. But I do know what it's like to be sent away after a public incident. It's not as easy as it sounds." Outside the conference room, they found Raj waiting with his laptop. "Have you seen the latest? The video's been picked up by a regional news station. They're doing a feature on cyberbullying and discrimination against students with disabilities." He turned his computer to show them the news website, where the headline read, "Exclusive, High School Bullying Exposed in Viral Video." A carefully edited version of the party footage was embedded in the article. Madison's face blurred, but her actions unmistakable. "They want to interview you," Raj added, looking at Lily. "Both of you, actually, about the Student Advocacy Coalition and the self-defense workshop." Lily's initial instinct was to refuse. Public attention had never been her goal, and the thought of revisiting the humiliation on camera made her stomach churn. But as she considered the opportunity, a different perspective emerged. "Do you think it would help," she asked Emma, "if other students saw it? Kids like me or like Mira from your old school?" Emma nodded slowly. "I think it might. Sometimes knowing you're not alone makes all the difference." The decision crystallized with surprising clarity. This wasn't about Madison anymore, or even about justice in the conventional sense. It was about transformation, turning pain into purpose, victimization into advocacy. "Tell them we'll do it," Lily decided, "but on our terms. At school, with the coalition members present. This isn't just about what happened to me." As word of the upcoming news feature spread, more students approached them with stories of their own experiences with bullying. The coalition meetings grew, expanding beyond their original focus to address other forms of discrimination and harassment within the school. Principal Kent remained conspicuously absent through it all, his silence speaking volumes about the shift in power dynamics. The institution that had once protected Madison now distanced itself from her actions, embracing instead the narrative of positive change that Emma and Lily represented. It was, as Emma observed wryly, amazing what could happen when adults feared public scrutiny more than they valued private influence.